But you're not the same person anymore. Stanford research shows the brain can't distinguish between imagined and real experiences when you vividly visualize them with emotion. So, if you see yourself as wealthy with unwavering conviction, your body language, speech, and actions will align with that truth. And when you act like someone deserving of wealth, the universe conspires to deliver it. If I, a high school dropout who changed tires at gas stations and was buried under debt, could become an international entrepreneur, what's stopping you? Only the story you keep telling yourself. So, please, take this first step for me and for yourself. Stop seeing yourself as insignificant. See yourself as a multimillionaire. Think like a multimillionaire. Talk like a multimillionaire. Act like a multimillionaire. The rest, I promise, will follow. And if you ever doubt, close your eyes, take a deep breath and tell yourself, I am bigger than any debt, bigger than any fear. I am the architect of my own fortune. The only permission you need to thrive is your own. Start now. Looking back, the most pivotal moment wasn't discovering the law of attraction or reading Think and Grow Rich. It was when I stopped deluding myself and made an unshakable commitment to myself. I made a decision, unwavering, irreversible, that I'd do whatever it took for as long as it took to build my first fortune. And that's where many fail. It's not a lack of desire, it's a lack of commitment and discipline. Most people say they want it, but they don't commit. I hear people say, Bob, I want a new job, I want to start a business, I want to be rich. But deep down, they're hoping for a magic wand, for fear to magically vanish. It won't. Decision precedes courage. And if I, a high school dropout, did it, so can you. I remember flitting from one idea to the next. I craved prosperity, but couldn't stick to anything for more than a week. Then my mentor said, Bob, discipline is giving yourself an order and obeying it, no matter what. That stuck with me. I realized discipline isn't brute force, it's self-respect. It's keeping the promises you make to yourself. I've met brilliant people, overflowing with qualifications and plans, who achieve nothing because they lack discipline. I've also met simple folks with little formal education, but unwavering discipline. And those individuals surpass everyone else. Why? Because disciplined people don't rely on motivation. They don't wait for inspiration. They simply do what needs to be done, even when they don't feel like it. If you want your first fortune, understand this. Discipline isn't punishment, it's freedom. It builds the bridge between your dream and your results. Without discipline, you just have a wish list. With discipline, you transform desire into dollars, ideas into prosperity. Let me leave you with a powerful example. J.K. Rowling, before becoming the richest woman in literature, was a single mother struggling to heat her home, writing Harry Potter in cafes because she couldn't afford a decent desk. Did she have motivation every single day? No. Did she have discipline? Yes. And discipline conquers all. I even disciplined myself in how I studied. I read the same book every day without exception, even when I felt like I knew it all, even when my mind screamed, Bob, you get it, stop. I didn't stop, I repeated, knowing each repetition reinforced the new patterns I needed for success. Many say, Bob, I don't have time. Time isn't the issue, it's commitment. You find time for what you truly decide to do. When I decided to thrive, I cleaned offices often in the dead of night, but still carved out an hour to study, an hour to plan, an hour to write my goals. And nobody stopped me. I challenge you now. Choose one small yet powerful action that moves you closer to your first fortune. It could be waking up an hour earlier to study finance, tracking your spending, talking to a mentor, opening a savings account, breaking a bad habit. Choose one and do it every day for 30 days straight, without fail. In the beginning, it'll be tough. Your body will resist. Your mind will say, not today, you can make up for it tomorrow. Don't listen. Do it anyway, because each time you obey a command you give yourself, you weaken your old self and strengthen your new one. I promise, there's no victory without discipline. Those without discipline accumulate frustration, debt, and broken promises. Those with discipline accumulate results. It's that simple. I went from owing $2 for gas to making $1 million a year. I didn't have a dream job, inherit an empire, or win the lottery. I had discipline, and discipline is a decision no one can make for you, only you. So don't wait until you feel ready. Don't wait for courage to magically appear. Give yourself the order today, follow through tomorrow, and the day after, and so on. One day, you'll realize your first fortune is secured, because you've become someone who keeps their word. And that's the greatest power anyone can possess. I wouldn't be here talking to you if I'd clung to the same relationships. That's one of the hardest truths I had to accept to change my life. I couldn't stay the same if I kept surrounding myself with people who only complained, self-pitying souls who said prosperity is a privilege for the few. I had to sever some ties to build everything from scratch with both hands. You might need to do the same if you want to achieve true wealth and peace of mind. Most people don't realize this, but your environment silently shapes who you are. You can be the most disciplined, studious, ambitious person, but if you spend your days listening to complaints, criticism, and malicious jokes about rich people, sooner or later your subconscious will absorb that as truth. The result? You sabotage yourself without knowing it. I saw it happen to a brilliant man I met early in my journey. He had a fantastic idea for a renovation company. He was creative, technically skilled, exceeding my own capabilities, but every day after work, he'd sit in a bar with the same old friends, spending hours trash-talking their boss, politicians, and wealthy individuals. Guess what happened? He never started the company. He died saying life didn't work out for him. Life didn't work out because he lacked the courage to change his environment, his circle of friends. On the other hand, I've seen simple people in my team become giants simply by choosing to surround themselves with people better than they were. Mikey went from nanny to executive at a global organization. Tommy was an ordinary consultant. Now he's the most creative professional I've ever worked with. What did they do differently? They placed themselves in an environment where growth was the only option. Who do you spend the most time with? Look at the last 5 names in your WhatsApp. Do they talk about opportunity or problems? Do they celebrate your success or try to drag you down to their level? I learned that the reality of those who fear is a prison for those who want to fly. I experienced this firsthand when I left the fire department. It was a stable job, steady paycheck, social respect. Everyone called me crazy for leaving to clean offices. I heard things like, "Bob, you're going to die poor, you're going to be broke, nobody gets rich cleaning floors." If I'd listened, I'd still be changing tires, earning peanuts. But I stopped listening to the loudmouths and started listening to those who knew more than I did. Science shows we even mimic the income levels of those we spend the most time with. If you hang out with 5 broke friends, you're the 6th. If you hang out with 5 disciplined, prosperous people, you're the 6th too. It's not magic, it's pure neuroscience. Our brains adjust to the environment to be accepted. So choose an environment that forces you to become greater than you are today. This doesn't mean abandoning loved ones, but it might mean limiting your time with those who don't add value. That's what I did. I didn't stop loving my family and childhood friends, but I understood that growth requires prioritization, and my priority was becoming who I knew I could be. Look at it practically. Observe any truly wealthy person, not the pretenders. They have mentors, support groups, partners, networks. They don't live in isolation. They're connected to those who think big. I did that for myself. If I hadn't, you wouldn't be hearing from me now. And here's a practical tip. If you can't find such people in your neighborhood or city, start with books. A good book is a conversation with a brilliant mind. That's how I started. I read, listened to audiobooks, attended seminars, even if I was the only one on my street doing it. I became the neighborhood eccentric, but I also became the neighborhood wealthy guy. And guess what? After a while, the people who laughed started asking, "Bob, how did you do it?" So ask yourself now, who will you be spending time with in the coming months? Whose voices will fill your mind before sleep? Whose examples will you follow when fear strikes? Choose wisely, because your bank account, your mental health, and your peace of mind will follow the same trajectory. I've never met anyone who got rich alone, surrounded by a limited mindset. But I've met people who changed their environment, their circle, and gradually their lives, and you can be next. In fact, you will be, if you make the right choice today, and this is only the beginning. I want you to pause for a moment and reflect with me. How many times have you had a great idea, felt that spark within, been sure this time would be different, and still let it slip away? How many opportunities have you watched escape because you waited for the perfect moment, the divine sign, someone's blessing? I wasted years of my life like that until I understood something that changed everything. An idea without action is just a weight on your mind. Want your first fortune? Then you need to learn once and for all to act while you're still afraid. The truth is, everyone thinks success is about brilliant ideas. It's not. It's about having the courage to act on ordinary ideas before they get cold. I didn't have any magic ideas when I started. I cleaned offices. Was that revolutionary? Of course not. But I went out there and did it. While others were planning elaborate business strategies, I grabbed a bucket, a mop, and a list of offices to knock on door to door. I was the one who acted while others just talked. And guess what I see today? Most people still do this. They get trapped in the perfectionism trap. They endlessly revise plans, spreadsheets, budgets, waiting for absolute certainty that they won't fail. And in that time, those who fail fast and adapt quickly surpass them, make money and learn practically. I was afraid too. Afraid of failure, afraid of looking ridiculous, afraid of losing what little I had. But I discovered that fear doesn't disappear. It just changes location when you move. When I knocked on the door of my first cleaning client, my hands trembled, my voice shook. But I went anyway. And each door opened reinforced a truth. Action cures fear. Studies on human behavior, like those by Mel Robbins, show our brain takes about 5 seconds to smother a new idea with doubt. If you don't act within that window, your rational mind will find 1,000 excuses to stay put. That's why I say, have an idea? Want to do something? Count to 5 and do it. Don't give fear time to paralyze you. I saw this play out in the life of Janine Shepherd. She was an Olympic athlete, suffered a horrific accident, and became paraplegic. They said she'd never walk again. She didn't wait for courage to emerge before trying. She acted with fear, trained, fell, got up. Today, she not only walks, but she flies. Literally, she's a pilot. That's action in the face of fear. Now consider the flip side. How many brilliant people died with ideas in their heads? How many promising businesses never saw the light of day because someone waited for the right time? You don't need perfect timing. You need imperfect action. I'll challenge you. Remember that thing you've been saying you'll do for months? Launching a YouTube channel, selling a product, calling a client, asking for a raise. Stop procrastinating. Take one step today. It doesn't have to be the final step, just the first. And when fear appears, remember me trembling while cleaning bathrooms in office buildings, but still moving forward. Money doesn't seek those who overthink. It seeks those who do. And if you fail, great. It means you're in motion. Failing in motion is better than staying still and learning nothing. Every action you take, even if imperfect, builds confidence. And confidence, my friend, isn't a gift. It's a muscle. You train it by acting. So listen closely. The only difference between those who imagine their dream life and those who live it is the courage to act before feeling ready. I was never ready. And here I am, years later, proving to you that those who act always have a story to tell, and those who wait always have excuses to make. Now close your eyes for a moment and say to yourself, I will act even with fear. I will make mistakes if I have to. But I will not wait any longer for courage to emerge to live what I deserve. Done. Now open your eyes and do what needs to be done. That's how your fortune starts to materialize. One step at a time. Taken now, not tomorrow. If there's one thing I want you to take away from this, it's this: nothing, absolutely nothing changes on the outside until it changes on the inside. In how you think, decide, act, and choose who walks beside you. It's this foundation that transforms an idea into wealth, a dream into a result, and fear into vibrant courage. And I know if you've made it this far, it's because within you, a spark already exists, ready to become a fire. So do this. Don't stop here. The next video appearing on your screen now will be another step on this ladder of evolution you're climbing with me, step by step, to be 1% better than you are today. I sincerely appreciate you being with me until now, and I'll see you in the next video. Let's climb to the top together. Click and come with me. Ever picture someone less equipped than you raking in unbelievable amounts of cash? Sounds crazy, right? But it's true. I did it. No fancy education, no trust fund, no meticulously crafted plan, just raw grit and a shift in perspective. If that shakes your beliefs, fantastic. That's where the magic starts. For ages, I was stuck in a rut. Looking in the mirror, I saw a broke, frustrated, unhealthy mess. That's all I believed I was. The turning point? Realizing that I wasn't defined by others' perceptions. I was the sculptor of my own reality. Sounds wild, but it's the cornerstone of wealth. Before the money hits your account, it's got to exist in your mind. Abundance blooms from within first. That's how I busted through barriers, despite limited education and crushing debt, and landed in a place of financial freedom. Most people self-sabotage without even realizing it. Ask yourself, what's your gut reaction to hearing about big money? Fear? Guilt? A feeling of that's not for me? That's what I call a scarcity mindset. You can have the best strategy, job, or idea, but if you're whispering I'm not enough to yourself, it all crumbles. I remember it like yesterday. Dead broke, drowning in debt, perpetually sick and angry. Then a guy looked me in the eye and said, Bob, your results are a mirror of who you believe you are. That hit me hard. It was the first crack in the mental wall I'd built. So here's the deal. No matter your background, rewriting your self-image transforms everything. It's not some feel-good theory. It's my life. It's Mikey's life. She started as a nanny. Now she runs a global organization. Not luck, not coincidence. It was the audacity to see beyond her circumstances. Do you secretly think you don't deserve prosperity? Are you ashamed to dream big because you were told money is dirty, unattainable, reserved for the elite? Think about it. Was the person who told you that rich? No. So why take advice from someone who hasn't achieved what you crave? When I started seeing myself as prosperous, my bank account was still empty, but my attitude changed, my communication changed. I refused to settle for scraps. Every opportunity became a chance for growth, not a threat of failure. Look around. Everyone you admire, everyone who's built a fortune, started by believing they deserved it. No one builds a castle while seeing themselves as a pauper. So how do you see yourself? Maybe you're staring at a messy room, maxed out credit cards, and no clue where to begin. I've been there. Here's the game changer. Don't wait for your surroundings to shift. Transform your inner landscape first, and your environment will realign itself. Start small, but with excellence. Write this down. I am prosperous. I deserve wealth. I am disciplined enough to create abundance. Read it every morning, every night, and when that inner critic screams, "You're a failure," repeat it louder. This repetition rewires your brain just like it did for me and thousands of others. Notice how your body reacts to the thought of immense wealth, heart racing, fear of loss, or are you immediately calculating taxes, debts, and problems? That's your existing paradigm fighting back. It wants to keep you exactly where you are.